We had a last-minute substitution. Unfortunately, we had a second overseas fellow who, because of schedules, was not able to provide her taped presentation. So Harvey has generously agreed to fill in.
Thanks, Eddie. So, my talk is about a concept that was developed in Canada called Invitational Drought Tournament. And why did we do it? Because there's a problem with wicked problems. They're complex, of course, but what does complex mean? Well, one of the issues is that you get complacent. If the problem's not always happening, you get the hydrological cycle. So I wrote a little presentation once called A Modest Step to Taking the Eye Out of the Hydrological Cycle. But the other problem is, look at all the people in the room. You're coming from all sorts of different environments. You're all competing for budgets, etc. So a next problem you get into when you start talking about environmental management questions is the issue of competition. Uh-oh, we've lost it. I had a nice picture of competing sectors, but because it's an animation, which I thought I'd removed, oops. Oh, there it is. I'm great. So you can see the various sectors. So the challenge I was facing was, how in heaven's name do you get people in the room and make things work? I tried tabletop exercises, very boring. But if you take a tabletop exercise and imagine each of you guys as teams at a table, and you all get the same information, you compete it, then suddenly you're in a big game. And it's much more interesting because you're presenting against the other teams are scoring you, it gets quite exciting. And so I really loved your presentation because I thought, ooh. And then I loved me and Greg's presentation because I thought we can put some of the art into it. And what we found was you do a lot of work with technical communities and the stakeholders creating the pre-game material. The game process, it's a structured exercise where people do innovations, but they also get to pick from a range of other pre-game developed products, so they're not always on the hook. And there you are. This is going to be happening in Texas in September and in Iowa in January. And we're going to be hopefully doing it on the Rio Grande later in the year next year, and possibly with the Red River with Oklahoma, Texas, with USGS. So you've got the facilitator, the teams, the referees, the tournament creators and implementers, and the fans. And what does it do? Well, we've moved from drought now to multi-hazard. So we're looking at water quality, flood, and drought. Makes it a lot tougher. And we're looking at specific locations rather than just fictional locations. So we're working with the San Antonio River Authority, and we're working with the city of Cedar Rapids with the Iowa River there. So far, we've been able to, as I said, pick those two sites, and we're working with stakeholders there and our U.S. Army Corps District colleagues. We're working with NOAA, National Drought Mitigation Center, Corps staff, United States Geological Service. We're developing decision support tools with it, with my colleagues. And we're starting to understand how to link this into the system so people can start to get a holistic understanding of their watershed, explore alternative adaptation benefits. And we're finding it is somewhat transferable. It's been done in different ways in Nepal, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, Canada, academic settings and non-academic. Is it perfect? Certainly not. It's somewhere between Goddard and the Mercury project at the moment. Well, we're moving it hopefully to Landsat. So we're working, as I said, hopefully it'll feed into policy with the National Integrated Drought Information System. WMO has expressed some interest, or at least they're kicking the tires. USGS is somewhat interested. It's been put into classes, and that's it. Thank you.